Hey everybody, Prepper for the Ages here. How's it going today? Sorry about that. I've been doing yard work. I wanted to tell you a story. So I thought I would run in here and tell you a kind of interesting story about my parents. And, if you're new to the channel, I discuss prepping and taking care of the elderly and the differently abled. So one of the stories I have is about my parents. And my parents, I started to notice they were slowing down about 2003. So I started picking up small tasks, going to the store for them, uh, uh, doing, running down, switching over laundry, bringing laundry back up and down, mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow, doing those tasks because it was getting painful. It was getting very painful for them to do. It was painful for me seeing them try to do them. So I thought I would pick those up. And one of the tasks I eventually picked up was paying their bills because Dad was doing. Mom never wanted to pay the bills. She didn't want to see. Dad always paid the bills. He paid them really early and often. And then after a very long time, eventually he was getting kind of confused where he was paying somebody to mow my sister's lawn, and instead of paying him every month, my father would end up paying him every week, which is very happy for the lawn guy. We never saw those checks again. I said, okay, I'll pay these for you. So I would start going out to the mailbox and I would start pulling in, sorting through and paying the bills. And so a lot of the times where you could pay the bills, you could write out a check and send it in the mail, or you can, oh, that's what I did for the lawn guy. But other bills I could pay online. So you go and you use the URL and the number, and then you can pay the bill. So I started doing that. And so I did that before, during, and after my dad died. I did all, I paid, opened their mail and paid the bills. But one of the things I found out a week or two ago was that there was fast forward, I was paying a bill a week or two ago. It was my insurance bill, my car insurance. And so I went in and I went and paid the bill, but I logged in. I didn't, pay to, I logged in this, and I was looking at and I saw there were 6 insurance claims. Number claims, 6. I'm like, okay. I don't remember getting in any accidents, but if I got in a bad accident, I wouldn't remember getting in any accidents. So, um, I was very curious. So I clicked on the URL, and the tab came up. It was for my parents' cars. Oh, okay. And I knew because, my mom had gotten in a car accident a long time, very long time ago. And after that, she didn't want to drive. So my dad had a car and my mom had a car. Dad would drive both cars. That's how he was. He drove both cars. Mom wouldn't drive. And I looked at the dates, and it looked like he had, in the 7 years before he got sick, he had cancer. In the 7 years before, he couldn't drive anymore. He was in 6 car accidents, and 6 car accidents where they were so serious he had to file insurance claims. It was for, moving car accident or a parked car I don't know, or not moving car accident. And that was very strange. And it was just, and I looked at it. I was like, really? Really? Um, and it occurred to me that I was seeing a new side of my parents. Like, my dad has been passed away since 2011. My mom, of course, just passed away this spring, but I never knew that they had been in car accidents. Yeah, I don't know if it was my dad and my mom in the car, both, but there were 6 car accidents in the 7 years before we had to take the keys away from him. And it was just a very interesting thing because as children, as a child to a parent that's getting old, there's always that, I've been in an accident, and then the kids wonder, is it time to take the keys away? Well, my dad evidently was smart enough to withhold that I've had an accident again, information from myself and my siblings. And so that was kind of a interesting secret to find, that he had the forethought to withhold that information because then we would talk amongst ourselves about taking his keys away since he had so many accidents in so many years. Um, Interesting, when you're a little kid, you always think that your parent is a superhero, superhuman, you can do no wrong. And then when you get older, you start realizing that they're not infallible, they are human too. And just to that extent, I mean, I never thought that they would keep something bit of information from us, the rest of the family, but evidently they were so concerned about getting their freedom and independence taken away that they kept that from us. I mean, it was like, oh, the car's in the shop. Oh, it's getting needs a new muffler, or it needs a new this, or it needs new brake fluid, or I don't know, something. But they would always couch it as that. And to see 6 car accidents in 7 years, that was just kind of an eye opener, kind of a shock. So it's something interesting if you're getting older or getting to be my age and older. Uh, Something to keep in mind as you go along life. If you find yourself getting into more and more accidents, it's a time to think about whether or not to reveal to your children if you've had a car accident, or if you've had a ton of car accidents in years, in a few set of years. By the way, I did take away Dad's keys for driving. That was when he got, I don't know if he just got sick. It was around the time when he got diagnosed, and his mind, yeah, the labs came back. I guess it was all because of the cancer. It would get his whole system out of whack, and he would get confused. And so, um, my mom came up to me and said, "Listen, he can't drive anymore." And so we sat down and we said, "Okay, Dad," and we sat a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, draw a draw how to get to the hospital. Draw a little map of how to get to the hospital. And so you'd go out the street and you'd take a left to get out to the hospital. No, he went and took a right, and he went and he kept going and going and going and going. So I said, "Okay, that's good, Dad. Thank you." I don't have keys to mimic taking the keys. Thank you, Dad. So yeah, and that's when I volunteered to be their full-time chauffeur anywhere they wanted. Um, but yeah, it was something where you had to actually make that executive decision to protect them. I guess the reason Mom had come up to me is my dad had gone to an appointment at the hospital, and he didn't know how to get home, so he drove in a random direction, and luckily drove past. He was 2 towns over, drove past a building that he knew. It was a doctor's office that he knew, and he stopped back. He stopped in and asked for directions. And I don't know how they took it, but they gave him directions good enough so that he could get home again. And that's what alarmed my mother enough that she let me know that I needed to do an evaluation. Can he drive? He can't find his way home anymore. You got to take the keys. And he was a very stalwart, and I know what I'm doing kind of guy. So I can imagine Dad being in the car driving. I know what I'm doing. And Mom being in the car going, no, where are we going? Hi, this isn't the way home. No, no, I know what I'm doing. So, but anyways, that was a story that I thought I would tell you about my parents, and maybe just when the car's in the shop for this or overnight, if the car's in overnight, or if the car's in a lot of times for things that aren't like can be taken and taken care of over the course of a few hours, like an oil change or a fluid change, or something. Well, it needs a new transmission. Yeah, yeah, one would be okay, but if it kept a multi-day overnighter, multi-overnighters for the car. Just keep that in the back of your mind. What's going on? So, uh, is there any accidents, Dad? Or is there anything you want to tell me? So, Anyways, that's the story. Take it as you will. Um, it's something to think about, something to keep an eye on when you have elderly parents or when you're getting old. Uh, to weigh the independence and the freedoms of being old and the safety of being able to drive. Okay. All right. I'll get off my soapbox. Thank you for being my therapist. All right. Hope you have a good one. Take care. Bye.